This is what we're doing, hypercapnic hypoxic training. We have high CO2. How do you know? Because you feel an immense urge to breathe. That's carbon dioxide increase. And we're not having hyperventilation beforehand to get rid of CO2. We're having normal breathing, breath hold, and you're measuring hypoxic in front of you. You have little pulse oximeters. This is looking at the research to establish the effects in elite male swimmers. We looked at this paper yesterday, 30 to 45 minutes a week, holding the breath for as long as possible, but without stress. We don't need any major stress. You're relaxing into the body. You're doing a breath hold, but it's challenging but not stressful. The condition is that each breath hold must be above the conditions which describe hypercapnia. It has to be above 45 millimeter of mercury. So that would be hypercapnic response. Control group was doing additional aerobic training. Hemoglobin here in the group who were doing the hypercapnic hypoxic, 5% higher hemoglobin, 10.79% increase to VO2 max. This is another paper looking at 15 middle distance runners. They used the times from official athletics competition before and after. So they used that as a measurement of whether they were making progress or not. The first group who did normal breathing as part of their training, they had plus 0.03%, very marginal. The second group, they did 15 to 20 minutes of breath holding on the exhalation once per week. They had 1.27%. The third group, who had 15 to 20 minutes of breath holding on the exhalation twice per week, 1.33% improvement. Now, you might think that 1% isn't all that much. It's significant. Time, yeah. The main measurement was time. Now, to be honest with you, these groups, neither of them did enough. I would have these people do 20 minutes a day. Like I'd have them at least do 6 repetitions of breath holds twice a day to get the effect. I don't think it was enough, but at the same time it's promising. It shows there's a difference. This paper here are the runners trained 3 times a week over a 4-week period. 85% of the runners improved their maximum velocity attained at the end of a treadmill test by 0.5 kilometer an hour on average. The average improvement of the group who did the breath hold, exhale, hold technique, they had 2.4% improvement. Normal breathing, no change. This is another paper actually, so by Warrens. So this is another paper, 5-week period, 16 triathletes. They were asked to include twice a week into their usual swimming session, one with hypoventilation at low lung volume. All that means is breathe in, breathe out, and hold. So hypoventilation at low lung volume, or with normal breathing. They measured their 100, 200, and 400 meters crawls. The 100 meters dropped 3.7 seconds off it, so that's a sprint, but that's swimming. The 200 meters dropped 6.9 seconds, the 400 meters dropped 13.6, so this is a 2016 paper, so that's a huge change in comparison. So the long-term effects, when they looked at hemoglobin, this is a really nice paper, Apnea, a new training method in sport. Now it was a 2010. This is a hypothesis that these researchers put out there, and they're saying, should we be doing breath holding in sport? And they started looking at all the different effects of it. Now, they didn't look at the effects, they haven't covered them all, but they've covered some of the really good ones. The resting hemoglobin mass in trained breath hold divers was 5% higher than untrained. So basically, 5% increased hemoglobin, increased oxygen carrying capacity, improved performance. Pre-test hemoglobin tends to be higher in the diver group than both skiers and untrained. And if you look at running economy, which is the amount of energy or oxygen consumed while running at a pace that's typically less than maximum, but the less energy you need, the better, because you're using your oxygen efficiently. They found that running economy has been, quite a good indicator of sports performance. Here, 18 swimmers, 10 men, 8 women. The first group were required to take only 2 breaths per length in a pool, and the second group, 7 breaths. Researchers found that running economy improved by 6% in the group that performed reduced breathing during swimming.